He did it. He went too far. Turki Al-Sheikhs kicks a man while he is down. That man is Tim Tszyu, the disrespect. Nasty work. And in this video, I'm going to break down who did what was said, show you guys the receipts, and give you my thoughts on the situation. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, Turki Al-Sheikh, he just did something that most real boxing fans are going to find reprehensive, out of pocket, classless, distasteful, whatever you want to name it. Tim Tszyu just fought a hard-fought fight and lost to Sebastian Fundora in the rematch. If you want me to do a breakdown on the fight, type what really happened. It is my series. A lot of people, don't be fooled. A lot of people are trying to copy the Boxing Ego way, my style. Look for the Boxing Ego stamp. It's a red wolf on my thumbnails, and it's called What Really Happened, because now you'll see, hey, this happened, and you won't believe what you've seen all these variations. My original series, if you want it, type What Really Happened, and I'll break down that fight. So I have to save that for another video. And that's for the Fundora Tszyu fight. The bottom line, in a nutshell, Tim Tszyu, he had to retire on the stool. I think Tim Tszyu kind of checked out and he was done for. So it looked like he kind of quit. Some people said it was his corner, whatever. Either way, right after that happened on the PBC card, boom, Turki Al-Sheikh posted this. I said to you from the beginning, Tim Tszyu does not deserve to be on a Riyadh season or Ring magazine card. He can be useful as a sparring partner for a champion in Riyadh season. And he posted Tszyu on the ground, and it says, Tim Tszyu's trainer calls fight off after brutal blows. Right? And I want you guys, so you guys see everything. Right? So he's mocking Tim Tszyu, saying, I told you from the beginning, he doesn't deserve to be on one of my cards. He should be a sparring partner for one of the fighters on my cards. The level of disrespect is insane. And it really looks like Turki is beginning to overstay his welcome, right? And a lot of what Turki came in the game saying, the mask is now slipping and he's not staying true to those prior notions, right? Before, he was talking about fixing boxing, and so were the fans. They're like, he's here to fix boxing. They were talking about, or he was talking about in the fans, where he was going to bridge the gap. Promoters not working with each other. We have the money, we have the resource, we have the infrastructure to bridge that gap and bring and unify boxing. Because I'm such a boxing fan that I want a better sport and I want this sport to thrive. With posts like this, it's hard to imagine from a diehard boxing fan that you would put something like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just levels of disrespect. For one, none of us that don't professionally fight can truly, you can have an opinion, you can be mad at the outcome or whatever the case is, but unless you lace them up, you really shouldn't be talking like this. You know what I mean? And saying like, oh, he should be a sparring partner and stuff. Because at the end of the day, whether it's a journeyman, a champion, ex-champion, these guys are doing something that this is a tough way to make a living. Tough way to make your coin. You know what I mean? So to just kick a man while he's down is super disrespectful. I mean, it goes without saying, it's distasteful. And again, Turki, when he first came in, this was not the energy that he was showing to the boxing world. He said he was here to help boxing, and I don't see what is the point of that? What is the point of doing that and kicking a man while he's down, especially Tim Tszyu? He's been a warrior. He's given us good moments. Yeah, he lost to Fundora. I mean, but even that, he lost to a 6'6" guy with a great game plan, inside fighter, power, combination punches. So is it really that bad? It was a fun fight while it lasted. It ended a little anticlimactic because Fundora started hurting him again and he had enough or whatever. But to just go out and jump out the window and totally disrespect him like he's trash or he's a shoe shiner and a peasant, you know what I mean? That's too far. And if you agree and co-sign this, you're probably been paid off by Turki, or you work for Ring, so you can't say your real opinion or whatever. But we know as kids all the way to adulthood, right and wrong. And you know that's not right to treat people like that, bro. You know, they say if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Again, you can have an opinion. You can say, oh, you know, I think this happened and stuff. But that's kind of keeping it to the fight, like breaking down the fight. Oh, I thought this person did bad or poorly. You're really kind of keeping it boxing. Turki there's nothing productive here, right? This is not like an assessment of the fight and he's like, oh, Fundora, he did great, and Tim Tszyu, da-da-da-da. He's not really offering anything. You're just being petty, trying to kick a warrior down while he's down, and using this opportunity. And for what? What do you gain from this? Obviously, Turki didn't really gain much because he deleted it. He deleted this tweet, so you won't be able to find it anymore. But I showed you the receipts. Everybody's talking about it online, and he's deleted it. So I can only imagine the types of responses that he was getting was probably negative, because I don't delete my tweets. If I tweeted, I meant it, I said it, let that rock. So once again, I've been online in boxing, making money for 15 plus years. I ain't deleted no tweets. I ain't deleted no videos. What I said, I meant, because I don't do stuff like this. I don't go out of my way to post and delete and say stuff that I'll later regret, or say stuff that gets poor feedback. And if it gets poor feedback and it's really something I believe in, then we just gonna let it rock, right? That's how that goes. But it looks bad. Why'd you delete it? If you believe this, like, stand on it. You know what I mean? If this is what you want and this is what you believe and you felt compelled to do it, and I think, again, kind of overstaying the welcome, I think what happened is Turki probably thought it was funny and, you know, let me take this and poke fun at it. But then the feedback was probably poor, and then he decided to remove the post. But it's unnecessary. And here's the thing. What did Tim Tszyu do to you? Right? You had an exchange of words with Canelo Alvarez, and then now you signed him to a 4-fight deal, and you were willing to work with him. I don't recall Tim Tszyu ever violating, right? In fact, there's an interview that was done on Fight Week ahead of the Fundora fight before he lost, and somebody was asking him about working with Turki, and he was like, yeah, I like what Turki's doing. You know, he's trying to bring the big fights back to boxing, so I'm always open for a conversation. He said something to this effect. So why do this? Why go out and violate when Tim Tszyu himself, he didn't really do nothing and he didn't violate? Listen, bad night in the office, bad strategy, Fundora won, but to do that. Now, another thing, if we're really being technical, you're talking about this and that, and he should be a sparring partner, and he's not good enough to fight on Ring and Riyadh cards. Are you kidding me? Because let's be real. Tim Tszyu, the entertainment value and the way he fought was better than Daniel Dubois, which was on a Ring Riyadh season card or whatever, versus Usyk. So what are you talking about? Usyk destroyed Daniel Dubois, and the card was terrible. So now the other part is you're making it sound like ring Riyadh season cards are so prestigious that you can't fight on them and perform like this. But Hamza Shiraz, your boy and ring ambassador, had a horrible performance versus Carlos Adames, and he admitted that. He bounced back with the Berlanga stuff, but the Adames fight, he didn't look good. So to be honest, it doesn't even make sense to act like nobody else is losing. Martin Bakole got knocked out in 2 rounds by Joseph Parker, and he outweighed him and was 300 something pounds. So if we're gonna go tit for tat, let's do it. And there's tons of guys on the ring Riyadh season cards. Anthony Joshua got clobbered by Daniel Dubois. So it's like, why are you not making fun of them? Right? Francis Ngannou got destroyed by Joshua on a ring Riyadh season card. So why are you only picking on Tim Tszyu because he lost in a tough fight? But there's plenty of people who aren't having scintillating performances or losing on ring Riyadh season cards. Tevin Farmer got cooked in 1 round. So he fought a really up and coming prospect, Floyd Schofield, and got destroyed in 1 round. So it's like, spread the love. But we know what time it is. Turkey was using this as an opportunity to have some kind of personal grudge. And this is just not good. Like, you have all these fighters, and Tank told you, Boxer Ego told you, all money's not good money. You know what I mean? You got all these fighters kneeling down and trying to do whatever, trying to get flew out and try to get the bag. But the person in charge of the bag, this is how he's behaving. And when you got money, I guess you could just do whatever you want. But we know it's wrong for Turkey to have put that out. Like, boxing is a brotherhood. Boxing is a fraternity. And boxing is a gentleman's sport at the end of the day. So it's like, is this needed? Do we really need fighters to lose? Right? And see, now we're starting to get into character, right? And we're starting to get to hypocrisy and inconsistencies. And y'all really don't want me to take it here and get deep in my bag because my memory is too crazy. You guys can't win. For example, remember Turkey was saying that boxing fans need to be more like UFC fans, and just because you lose, right, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And boxing fans they need to let fighters lose and not harass them and turn their back on the fighter because they lost. But how can you say that with a straight face, but then when a fighter you're beefing with, like Tank, has a draw with Lamont Roach, you posted memes about Tank. Talk about hair grease. It was the hair grease. No knockdown. Ha, ha, ha. And then Tim Tszyu actually loses to Fundora, and you guys had whatever exchange, and now you're like kicking him while he's down. But you were the same person that literally said that fight fans shouldn't act like this when fighters lose and act like they're horrible fighters. So it's like, you trying to play games and like be petty with people, you're making your own messaging inconsistent and non-congruent with what you said. Either we're going to let fighters lose and not make fun of them, which is what you previously said, or when it's a fighter you don't like or had issue with, you're taunting them and going very low when they lose. But you guys, you understand what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So it looks bad because you start to muddy up the waters and you start to make your own messaging unclear. For example, here's another angle. And I told you I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I always come with receipts. Turkey is talking like, Tim Tszyu, you need to shine shoes, be a sparring partner. Ha, 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 you lost, you suck. That type of attitude. But this is the same man who came up with a rule out of nowhere and said no Tom and Jerry fights, right? Hold on. No Tom and Jerry fights. Cool. So Tim Tszyu did not give a Tom and Jerry fight. This is what you said you were against. He gave a very valiant effort up until the moment where he couldn't come back out for whatever reason, right? But he was shooting. Fundora was doing well, and he was trying to fight back. So there's no one that can say that Tim Tszyu not a warrior, and it was Tom and Jerry. He was right there to a fault in front of a 6'6" Fundora with a great game plan who boxed and banged when he needed to. Pause. Right? So again, your own messaging looks bad because you put out and kept consistent. No Tom and Jerry fights. We don't want to see that. Fans don't want to see that. You also criticize fans turning their back on fighters when they lose. Now you're pretty much doing both. You're criticizing Tim Tszyu in a nasty way, right? Kicking the man while he's down. And then on top of that, he didn't fight Tom and Jerry, which is what you said you like. He fought the warrior way or whatever. And then you still bashing him afterwards. So how is this a good look? So yeah, I wasn't feeling this. I don't think it's a good look, and it's a bad look for boxing because at the end of the day, you know, what's the point of doing it, right? What's the point of, like, if you lose, then you're going to be ridiculed. And like, you also have David Benavidez, a PBC fighter. You're working with him. It's just a bad look. Why are you dogging the PBC guy? But then you didn't say nothing negative to Daniel Dubois. He just got knocked out in round 5 by a former cruiserweight. You dig? Like, how come you don't have why are you not taunting him? Because he was on the ring Riyadh season card. So I didn't like it. Your boy Ego can't approve of that messaging. And it's confusing to fans when you come in saying you're trying to fix boxing, but then you're adding problems. You say you want no Tom and Jerry fights, then somebody gives you one that's not, and you still make fun of them. You say fans need to get over it and stop turning their back on fighters when they lose, and then you publicly put out a taunting message. It's just bad. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe.